Baltimore City. It's a Dish with Deeva show. Here she is, the one and only K-Cee Deeva.
What up, peeps? It's your girl K-Cee Deeva here. Welcome to another edition of Dish with Deeva. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. I'm even more excited about my guest, a very, very special lady. I'm going to introduce her in just a few minutes. Just want to remind you, if you want to come on the show and chat, or if you want to go look at some archive videos, visit my Facebook, K-Cee Deeva, or Dish with Deeva page, YouTube, K-Cee Deeva Shows, and K-Cee Deeva is spelled just like it's spelled on the screen. Some of y'all want to put an I in there, like when you email me and stuff. No, E-E, two E's. Also on Twitter at K-Cee Deeva Shows as well. All right, I want to dive on in because I want to take advantage of every second that I have with this young lady. Miss Hayley Johnson, welcome to Dish with Deeva. So excited to talk to you, my friend.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, now Hayley is a women's health coach and personal trainer. And so what we discussed is I want to give you guys just some background on how we met. I met her. Hayley, has it been 10 years?
I think it's been almost 10 years now.
Almost 10 years. That's crazy.
Yes.
So 10 years ago, I was working out at a gym near my house, and my trainer I was working with before moved away. You know, I'm real picky about my trainers, right? Like, you gotta have that vibe, you have that connection.
Right.
And I went to the gym and saw this beautiful lady. I was like, wow, she's in shape. And that was before I knew she was a trainer. And then as I was talking to the manager about, okay, I need another trainer, and he's like, oh, we just hired this young lady. She'd be perfect for you, etc. And it was her. And I'm like,
and we fell in love.
Exactly. I'm like, yes.
I love it. We fell in love. Yes.
Yes, we fell in love. But you know, the thing I loved most about working out with you is that it was more than just about the physical, right? Like, you know, most of us go to the gym, right? We want to get fit.
Right.
We probably are in a weight, you know, want to lose weight or want to maintain what we're doing or bulk up or whatever your thing is. For me, it was about a weight loss journey back then. And you know, I was, you know, being so focused as a lot of us are on the physical, I gotta lose weight, I gotta weigh this much, I gotta, you know, your theory and the way you work with your clients is really about total well-being, and that's what I love about you. And then you moved away. My trainers keep moving away from me,
but we're online now.
Yes. Thank goodness we're online now. And you have started your business where you're able to train clients virtually. So I want to talk a little bit about that. But before we get to that, give us some background. Like, how did you even get into health and wellness and fitness?
Yes, thank you. So I got in 10 years ago when I met my husband now. So we were always into working out at that gym where you and I met. And we would just work out there. He would train me, and he was like, look, I want to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. And I was like, are you serious? And I told myself that day, I'm going to marry this man. And I did 10 years later. But when I started to realize the power of taking the time to focus on yourself and allowing it to be for you, right? So your goals are for you and nobody else. So once I took it away from looking good for somebody else and internalize it as I want to feel my best, that's when I took off. And so people were inquiring about us for training, and the manager had came up to us and like, look, you guys either need to work here with us or we got to kick you out because too many people are requesting you guys and you don't even work here. So they paid for us to get certified. We got certified and we just fell in love with it. Really, I just fell in love with the idea of helping people rediscover themselves, right? A lot of times we know what to do. It's like, okay, just eat cleaner, just move my body more. But it's like, well, what does that really look like? So I help people really understand what it looks like to work out, how to move, how to eat, and then internalize this for themselves. So dig deep on why you're doing it for yourself. And in turn, you rediscover this self about you that you never thought was possible. It's a self that has something burning within you to do better, be better, and just live with more of a purpose. And that's what I love to see with my ladies.
I love that. I love that. So answer this question for me. So, there's a lot of folks out there, especially, with women, like we've got busy schedules, right? We've got kids, we've
Right,
got families, we've got work. Things took a major shift during COVID, right? And all of a sudden
right,
everybody's at home. And so what little time you might have for yourself, maybe you got home for everybody, you could breathe for a minute, that was gone.
right,
And then, I know I have a lot of friends that are in that situation or were in that situation. And it's like, I don't have time for me. I don't have time to spend an hour or two working out
right,
or trying to monitor every little thing I eat. So talk a
right.
little bit about, your program and,
Mm-hmm.
everything from like time wise, I've talked to people that are like, I don't have time to cook every single day. How
Right.
can I make some quick, easy meals? Talk a little bit about your program and what you walk through people through.
Yes, absolutely. So, me being a mom of two girls, I have a 7-month-old and a 3-year-old. I
Beautiful. You're
definitely
so
understand. I know, thank you. They're the love of my life. But I definitely understand what it's like to be busy, right? And to not have the time. But I make it so precise. It's 30 minutes, 3 times a week, and you get to train from the comfort of your home.
cute.
So, what I realized is when I was becoming a mother, how can I still work out, eat good, and take care of myself? That was my goal because I knew if I could fill myself up full, fill my cup up full, I could over pour with love to my children, to my husband, to my family, and in turn,
Mm,
everybody would be happy, right?
yeah.
So, I had to focus on what that looked like. So, I developed a system that worked for me. And I then in turn created a program to then help other busy moms and women alike. So you don't have to be a mom. It could be, you're a busy entrepreneur or, you just don't have the time in your day. And so I make it simple. So it's 30 minutes. And then as far as, additional cardio, it's simple as walking, okay? So I have people just start out with walking every day, 20 minutes, just get outside, just breathe. I mean, simply going outside and getting that fresh air is really what some people need to kind of just reset, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I make it attainable, right, for people so that they feel they can get started, okay, and
mhm,
not feel like it's so out of reach, I can't even start. And then when it comes to the nutrition, I don't provide a cookie cutter meal plan. I provide suggestions based on your particular goals that you like to accomplish. And then we work together to understand what that looks like. So I have people do a cleanse when they first start out, and this helps them eliminate a lot of processed foods, sugars, fried foods, a lot of things we don't need. Okay.
mhm,
And this kind of restarts the metabolism, restarts their body, and kind of focus them on the foods that they should be eating. Okay. So then it
mhm,
becomes more of like an excitement of, wow, after 3 days, I feel so good, eliminating some of these foods. I want to keep it up. Okay.
mhm,
So it's about finding the foods that work well with your body. And I work hand in hand with my clients. And that's why I always like to provide that special touch. It's not just here, you eat this. It's really diving in. So I have all my ladies do a annual blood check. Okay. So they go to the doctors and make sure all their blood levels are correct, like their folate and their iron, right? Magnesium,
mhm,
making sure that, right, their blood levels are correct. And this helps with our mood, with our appetite. So much comes down to how our body is processed and digesting these foods. So I really hone in on that and walk you through that process. And the goal is to give you the resources to eventually do it on your own. So I walk you through A to Z.
That's the hard part, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
is the keeping it up, right? Because it's
Right,
great when you have someone kind of holding your hand and telling you what to do.
right,
And I think again, you hit on something. It's like everyone's different, everybody's different.
right.
And so not having like this cookie cutter approach, like, okay, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
here you go, and everybody uses the same thing. I mean, really being
Right.
able to figure out who your client is and what works and what doesn't. Um, I know in
Yeah.
my own personal experience, with you, it just made such a huge difference. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about some of the stigmas around like
Mm.
weight loss, and you kind of touched on it a little bit. You said so as simple as walking. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people think I got to be in the gym for 2 hours to get
Right.
results. You know, but that's not true, right?
No, it's not true. I think small steps, baby steps. and just taking one step at a time. And that's what I'm here for. So I love the accountability. So we train 3 days a week, and then every Sunday I hold you accountable with a check-in. So we check in, we see where you're at. There's a continued education. So I educate you on every phase that you should be at. Okay. So we address certain topics, and we'll dive into that if anybody's interested later. But it's continued education to give you, the tools and resources to start baby steps. Like I said, 30 minutes 3 times a week, walking 20 minutes a day. And then I didn't touch on this, but as far as meal prepping, I help you, figure out how to meal prep your meals. So with my clients, for example, who don't want to be in the kitchen every single night, we practice prepping our meals. So on Sunday, for example, we might prep for 2 or 3 days and have that food prepped in the fridge. So it's easy access to help eliminate all the excuses, right? Because we always have the excuse of, it's not made, or it's not cut up, the vegetables aren't cut up, the food's not made. So I help eliminate those excuses and teach you the habits, right, that you need to create a lifestyle out of it.
Now, how do you, let's say I'm watching this, or they watch it another time, and I'm that person that's like, yeah, I don't even know where to start. Like, I got no motivation. What are some suggestions? Because in order to come and approach someone like you and say, hey, I need help, or I want help to, reach my goals, it's got to start internally, right? So what are some ideas or suggestions you have for people that are really kind of struggling? Like, I'm not motivated. Like, how do you get there?
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. I ask this question to my potential clients before I start with them. I say, and I asked you this when we first started training, I say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you? How committed are you to becoming the best version of yourself? And if we're not at a 10, I do not choose to work with you. And until you're at a 10, because I'm at a 10 with you, if you come to me asking for help, I'll get you the results. But until you're at a 10, we're not ready. Okay. And that's okay. And I believe that you have to be so sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay. That you're like, I'm willing to do what it takes. And that's when I'm ready to work with you.
Yeah. I love that. Because I think that's half the battle, right? Because, when we think about wholeness and wellness, even aside from the physical, it's up here, right? And so, if I'm in a space where I'm like, I'm trying to find the motivation, okay, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'll do whatever she tells me, from the physical part. How do you deal with the mental part, right? Like, because you worked with a lot of people, a lot of different clients from A to Z, you can probably spot pretty quickly. Maybe they start off at a 10 and then they kind of wane down to a 5 because life happens or work is stressful or, whatever. Talk about maybe some of the techniques that you have, for women that are just like, yeah, I started off on this at a 10. I thought I could do this, but I just can't.
Yeah, absolutely. So to answer that question, I'll go back to your initial question. You said, well, how do I get the motivation? And I don't know if it's always motivation. It's, the commitment that we have for ourselves, okay, that we have to find. So I always try to dive deep on why you want to do this, okay? Why are we trying to get in the best shape of your life? If you're at a 10, why are we doing this? So I usually find out, people are trying to be healthy for their children. Maybe, they have a spouse that they're trying to keep up with. There's all these reasons. And then I try to dig even deeper, okay? So I ask continued questions to dive in and hone in on exactly why they want this, okay? Because when your purpose of wanting to be the best version of yourself is so deep, okay, and it lights your soul on fire, and I can pull that out of you, then we can draw back on that time in and time out. Like when we hit a plateau 6 weeks in and you're struggling, it's like, okay, well, this is why we started. Let's recall that, okay? Let's focus on that, and let's go to work.
I love that. I love that. I love that digging deep part. And I can speak from experience. Like you really have a knack for that without being intrusive. And I think that's, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's like, when you're looking for someone to take you on this journey, you know, to work with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
you really do have to have a
Right.
good rapport, and you have to work
Right.
with someone. And sometimes it's just not a good fit. I'm sure you've had people that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're like, this is not a good fit, and that's okay. There's maybe someone
I
else, you know.
haven't yet.
Oh, well, why am I not surprised?
I haven't yet. I've told people, look, come back to me
Yeah.
when you're at a 10, and they come
Okay.
right back, you know? And I
Okay.
love it because then it's like,
That's
I'm
even better.
ready. Yes, I love
Yes.
it.
Because obviously they thought about it and went, okay, I got to work with this person. Like
Mm-hmm.
you motivated them in whatever initial conversation you've had that got them to the
Mm-hmm.
10. So
Yes.
kudos to you. Um, okay, so let's talk about you know, there's this whole body positivity movement, right?
Yes.
And I think it's been, I want to say at least maybe 2, maybe 3 years, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we see entertainers like Lizzo, for example. You know, we're seeing more you know, bigger bodies in commercials and, you know,
Yes.
movies, you know, curvier women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, because for so long it was just like if you weren't like a size 2, then
Right.
you know you're fat, you're
Right.
overweight, you're out of shape, you're not
Right.
healthy, right?
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't necessarily mean you're not
No.
healthy if you're
Right.
not a stick figure.
Not at all.
So for well, let's kind of back up for those who maybe are watching and like I'm not, yeah, I hear about this body positivity thing. What exactly does that mean? Can you kind of give us some perspective on that?
So for me, okay, because I just focus on me, to be quite frank. So for
Yeah.
me, I believe every body is beautiful, okay? But I want to make sure that your body is healthy, okay? And I want to
Mhm.
make sure that you are at your optimal fitness level, okay? So what I focus on, and when I say cardio, we're not doing cardio to lose weight, although you will lose the weight. We're doing
Mhm.
cardio to focus on your cardiovascular, which is your heart. Okay, so we're looking for building better heart strength. All
Mhm.
right. When I tell you to take your supplements and your vitamins and your minerals, we're looking on better brain health and better gut health, right? So
Mhm.
we're looking at making sure that this body is functioning at its best.
Mhm.
So I don't care what shape, I love all shapes and sizes, okay? But are you healthy?
Mhm.
Okay. And the way that I judge that is not the shape, not the scale. Okay. We can throw the scale out the window. Okay. But it's your body fat percentage or your body mass percentage. Okay. So,
Mhm.
how much fat is on your body? Okay.
Mhm.
Because when we have excess fat, now we're at risk of being obese.
Mhm.
Okay. And now we're at risk of multitude of health concerns down the road. Okay. So,
Yeah.
that's what I help people prevent. So although, you know, they might come to me and say, Hayley, I want a tiny little waist and this and that. I'm like, well,
Mhm.
that's great. But we're working on becoming the healthiest version from the inside out. And you'll get that along the way. Okay. Because you
Mhm.
do, you will.
Right.
Okay. You will get those results, but it's about being healthy from the inside. That's for me, body positivity. And it would be embracing your body, right?
Mhm.
Embracing where you're at, loving your body. We can't grow and move to the next level until we can love where we're at.
Right. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So 10 years ago, you got into the business, let's say. Um,
Mhm.
what has been your biggest challenge? Like, so I'm thinking from like an entrepreneurial standpoint, right? Because you know you're an entrepreneur. This is now your business. Um, and you know you went from working for a gym to now being your own businesswoman, which is amazing. And I more
Mhm.
and more women are doing that, which is great. um what advice could you give, you know, maybe someone that from an entrepreneur standpoint, who may be thinking about starting a business, may not necessarily be fitness, could be something else, um and kind of on the fence, kind of scared, not really sure. What helped you pull the trigger on it, so to speak, to be like, this is something I want to do. I'm going to make it happen, and you're doing it.
Yes. So I love it so much. Like I mean, I would do it for free. Although this is my living, I would literally do this for free. So find something you're just so passionate at that you would do for free, right?
Mhm.
And then initially give it out for free, right? So whether it's a product or a service, offer it complimentary, right? So reach out to family and friends and say, "Hey, this is what I love to do. Will you try it out?" Right? And get feedback. Okay, get, testimonials or, some areas of opportunity to improve, right? And tweak it, but try it and do it. And I think that's something where I struggle with. And I always like to be
Mhm.
vulnerable with my clients and let them know my areas of opportunity to improve. And that's with just doing things, believe it or not.
Mhm.
Like, I am so comfortable with this, so I was able to jump into it. But with other things in life, I get nervous too, right?
Mhm.
But I think it's important to just surround yourself with incredible people like yourself, right?
Aw.
With great resources to dive into it and to
Mhm.
offer it for free and to tweak it, learn, and to just grow with it.
I think that's great advice. Great advice, especially, kind of testing out the waters, getting
Yeah.
feedback. I think that's the biggest thing is getting feedback from people you trust, have
Hmm.
your best interest at heart.
Right.
Excuse me. So for our moms watching out there
Hmm.
that also might be entrepreneurs or thinking about
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, any tips to juggling that whole family, kids, husband, business?
Yes,
What
I
keeps
I
you
would s
going?
I know. I always tell my ladies just to be kind to yourself, right? To love yourself through the process because it's gonna be trial and error, right? Things aren't
Mhm.
gonna always be perfect, but I think you can control a certain amount of things. So I think controlling your time is so important. So I have a calendar and I have everything organized and it's time blocked.
Oh.
So throughout the day, I know exactly what I'm doing,
Mhm.
okay? And I stick to that. And I'll also have reminders on my phone. So I'll have alarms going off, right? Whether it's, whether I need to eat, right? Because sometimes you work so much, you need to eat,
Mhm.
okay? So that's one of the things for my ladies. You don't go over 4 hours without eating. And if you need to set an alarm, right? So I'm very, calculated in the sense of what I do with my time, or at least I try to be, right? We can always improve on that. So that would be my biggest thing is to time block, be organized with your time. We all have 24 hours, but somehow some people are so successful, right? And are
Right.
living out their dreams and aspirations. And who's to say that you can't?
Right on. I love that. Great advice.
Yes.
Great advice.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Before we wrap up, I like to play a little game, just
Yes.
to kind of get to know you, get to know you for the people out there, getting to know my guests.
Okay.
Familiar game, two truths and a lie. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what I'm going to ask you to do is tell me three things.
Okay.
And when you're done, I will try to figure out which two are true and which
Okay.
one is not. So see if
Okay.
you can fool me.
Okay. So the first one is that I taught English in Africa. The second one is I've always wanted to become an astronaut.
Oh.
And the third one is I've gone skydiving and I hate it.
Hmm. Let's think. Okay. Taught English in Africa. Skydiving and hated it. And what was the middle one?
I've always wanted to become an
Oh,
astronaut.
I was going to go astronaut. Astronaut. Okay. Those are good. Okay, let me think. I'm gonna say
I love your
you always.
eyeshadow. Your makeup looks so good.
Oh, thank you, thank you. You're
Yes.
too kind. Okay, I'm gonna say you've always wanted to be an astronaut because I can see that as a kid. You think big. You have big aspirations, and I can see you saying, I'm going to the moon one day." I can see you saying that. So I'm gonna say true. Skydiving. I don't know. Can I see you skydiving? I mean, you're pretty athletic.
Have you been? Have you been skydiving?
Girl, no, I am terrified of heights.
Me too.
I mean, if you are terrified of heights and you did it, kudos to you because like the whole bungee jumping and all that. Oh gosh, no. Okay, I don't. I'm gonna say you did try skydiving because I think I feel like you would try it and be like, okay, I did it, but I hate it. I'll never do it again. And I don't think you taught English in Africa.
Final answer.
Final answer.
You're actually incorrect.
What? Okay,
So the
details.
lie is that I did not always want to become an astronaut. I actually always wanted to become a lawyer.
What?
And I
So
did
you,
yes.
wow. So you have gone skydiving and you taught
Yes.
English
And I
in
hated it.
Africa.
I would never go skydiving again.
Wait a minute, Hayley. Hold on. Are you talking about like you where the guy holds on to you like you see on TV and then
Yes.
wow. Oh
James and I went
man.
for our 25th. I took him for our 25th. We're like,
Hmm.
let's go. I'll never do it again now, but if it's on your bucket list, keep it on your bucket list. It's a must do.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, and I did
Bless
study
your heart.
abroad. I studied abroad in
Mm.
Africa and in India in college.
Oh wow. That's
Hmm.
amazing.
For 6 weeks, and I taught them English.
Very
Yes.
fun. Oh, I'm so
Yes.
proud of you. You've done so much. You're just
Thank
amazing. You
you.
are amazing. I'm excited for your business. Excited
Thank you
for the
so
people that
much.
get a chance to experience what I got to experience with you, and
Thank you.
just an amazing just trainer, mentor,
Mm,
amazing woman all the way around. And
thank you.
so let's give them all your contact info, your social media, how to they want to sign up with you. What do they do? Where do they go?
Yeah, so the main one would be Instagram. So it's just Hayley Olivia, Hayley, and then Olivia. Reach out to me.
That's pretty easy. Haley
Yes,
O
yes, on
Olivia. Haley
Instagram.
Olivia. I
Yes.
almost said Haley Johnson, but no, Instagram is Haley Olivia. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
got it. Got it,
Yes.
got it, got it. All right, Miss Haley Olivia. Thank
Thank
you for joining me.
you.
This has been
You're
amazing and
amazing.
fun. And I love the two truths and a lie because you get to learn these fun things about people that, you know.
Right? Thank you for thinking I would be an astronaut, though. That was a
I
great compliment.
I
I
was like,
like
I
that.
could totally see you as this cute little girl going, I'm gonna be an astronaut one day. I'm gonna be in a space.
Right? Right? What did you want to be growing up? Did you have like a go-to? What did you want to be?
Well, so funny thing, I
Mm-hmm.
actually always wanted to be a journalist.
Oh, I love
Um,
it.
yeah, I was going to be a journalist, and here's why.
Why?
People that know me and are close to me know I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan,
I know
and
it.
so I saw Michael Jackson. Actually, I saw him on the 25th Motown anniversary. He had the glittery outfit, first
Ooh.
time he did the moonwalk. I think I
Oh
was
my
in
God.
maybe sixth grade. I'm dating myself, but yeah, around fifth or sixth grade, because still wasn't sure until
I
then.
love it.
And I saw him and I fell in love, like
Of
many other little
course.
girls around the world. And then
Of
I
course.
started watching, they did a recap on Entertainment Tonight, and Mary Hart was on there. And
Mm,
I thought, she's got the
mm.
coolest job. She gets to interview
Right?
people like Michael Jackson, and so, yeah, I knew I
Fell in love.
wanted to be a journalist. Yeah, and did it for a while, So,
You did.
um, and now I'm back doing. I love interviewing people and just talking to amazing people, and so,
Mm.
yeah, here
You're
I
so
am.
good at what you do.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. All right, peeps. Well, you heard it. Haley Olivia, go check my girl out. Sign up. I promise you will not be disappointed. And hit me up next week. I'm back, and I got a surprise music group that we're going to have on the show. So look out for those promos. And until then, stay safe. Be good to yourself. Remember the self-care that Haley talked about. And we'll
Drink
see
your
you next
water.
week. Drink your water. Yes.
Hmm.
Water, water, water.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right.
Carla.